Commercial real estate videos are brought to you by Bull Realty. When your business requires proven performance, contact Bull Realty. And by Arnold Golden Gregory, France Media Inc., Resnick Group, and Andy's Army. Welcome to America's Commercial Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us to lead, learn, and laugh. Learn market knowledge and best practices to lead your company's success. And that's whatever type of company you work with and laugh. I think we have to have some fun along the way. Well, hello, I'm Michael Bull, your host of the world of commercial real estate. Thank you for joining us. Remember, if you have any commercial real estate questions, we do appreciate hearing from you. Our phone number is 888-612-SHOW. Our email is info@creshow.com. You can also connect with us through all the social media sites. You can find them all at the Commercial Real Estate Show website, which is commercialrealestateshow.com. Well, today we're going to explore some of the technologies that are creating efficiencies and bottom-line profits in the commercial real estate industry. We have some cool tools to share with you today. First, please welcome guest Patrick Braswell with Scotland Wright Associates, a brokerage firm based in Atlanta that specializes in helping companies with their office and industrial space. I first met Patrick when we were both speakers at a class at the Commercial Board of Realtors on the use of technology and social media. That's when I first heard of some technology that I asked him to share with you today. Patrick, welcome to the Commercial Real Estate Show.
Michael, thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Well, thank you, Patrick. And your firm has created 10-8, a mobile app to help brokers capture information from their clients and turn it into objective data to make decisions. And when I heard about this and you shared it with me, I think it's an incredible piece of software and an app. Tell us about 10-8.
Happy to. 10-8 is the solution to a couple of problems that we face in commercial real estate. One being how we actually evaluate buildings while we're on tour, and two, the actual tour booklet. And so what do I mean by that? Well, let's explore evaluating buildings while on tour. If you think about it, and you and I have both toured a lot of buildings in our time, if you and your client tour more than, say, 3 buildings, they all start to run together.
Right.
They start to have a hard time remembering what they saw and deciphering one building from the next, which, of course, leads to frustration. And being in the business for 9 years now, I've seen that over and over again. But then the next step is we actually try to have them make a decision based off of that as well, and based off the fact that they can't remember the buildings, and then they're truly making a decision based off of feel.
Yeah, which building was that? And
right. They start going, now was that
how was the parking?
Right, was that the building with the purple carpet in it? And we were like, yeah, that was the Barney building, remember? Or then we, not to throw anyone under the bus, but you start making fun of the brokers that are showing you the buildings because that's how you remember it. Yeah, that was the guy with the big nose, or whatever the case may be.
And the pink shirt.
Right. So we wanted to create something that would help our clients capture their subjective feelings they have about a building while on tour and turn that into objective data to help them make a better real estate decision. And what better way to do that than to create a mobile app that they can have in their hands, and while they're actually walking through the buildings, be able to rate them on this app. And that's where 10-8 came from. And so basically what we're doing, again, is turning those feelings into data to help them make a better real estate decision. And so that's what 10-8 is today. And where we're going over the next couple of months, and we've actually started development, is to take the tour booklet. And let's think about this as well, Michael. How often do your clients actually use a tour booklet while they're on tour? I know personally, I hand them to my clients, they smile, they kind of flip through them, but then inevitably they leave it in my car, and I feel like an idiot because, the landlord broker sits there and hands you out flyers. I'm like, no, don't worry, they've already got their, oh, no, they don't, it's in my car. Right. And then from there, you get done with the tour, and you've actually seen them take a couple of notes on that tour booklet. Well, inevitably they throw it away because you do a conference call the next day, and they don't remember anything. So we want to take all the data, i.e. the flyers and the floor plans that are in a tour booklet, and put it into 10-8 as well. So not only can you rate the buildings, but now you can actually see all the information associated with the buildings and do away with the tour booklet completely.
Okay. And what are the various points that tenants can rate while they're on a tour of a building?
Yeah, so we've come up with 8 common attributes for office buildings right now, and we are developing a retail and industrial app as well. But for the office apps, we're going to be rating the actual rental rate. We're going to be rating the location and access. We're going to be rating the suite location and the suite layout itself. You're also rating the lobbies that you go through, the amenities that you go through, and then the overall feel. So basically, there are 8 common attributes, again, that we've come up with for all of these buildings.
Right, and I've went through one of those, and you also rate the parking as well, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, and what you feel about the location. And what are the ways you can rate it? Is it 1 through 6, or tell us about that?
Yeah, so the name 10-8 comes from the fact that you are getting a score on each building out of 10, and you're using 8 common attributes to get that score. So that's where the 10 and the 8 came from. And, since I'm from Atlanta and have somewhat of a southern draw, if you say 10-8 with enough southern of a draw, it sounds like tenant. But to your point, when you actually get into the system and you are giving a score for those attributes, it's on a 1 through 6 scale. And we did that because if you look on your iPhone and you have 1 through 8 or 1 through 10, people with fat fingers can't actually hit the little dots to score it. And we did 1 through 6 an even number because we wanted to make people have an opinion about a building. If you do 1 through 5, there's an out by hitting 3. Kind of middle of the road. But if you do 1 through 6, it's either good or bad. So you either hit 3 or you hit 4.
And if you go 1 through 10, it's like, how do you give a woman a 10? That's pretty high, right? I know there's women that have it, like Whitney, our producer. But,
right. Or your wife. That's only your wife. Your 10 is your wife.
Yes, that's right. Well, what types of phones and devices does 10.8 work on?
Yeah, that's a great question. 10.8 is a mobile app, which for those that aren't in the industry, means basically it's a mobile website. So the way that 10.8 works is the broker would set up the tour per the tour schedule before you go out. They would then add their clients to the system by adding their email addresses, and then your clients are going to get an email that says, Patrick Braswell from Scotland Wright Associates has invited you on a tour. You then click on that link using either an iPhone, an iPad, an Android, phone, Android, or the touchscreen BlackBerry. So basically it works on all mobile devices. Nice. So they simply click on that link, and the system takes them to the very first page of what we call the preferences page. And you went through that when we were in the lobby. Basically what you're doing there is telling the system how important each of those attributes are to you and your company, so that score out of 10 is going to be unique to them and their needs versus just some arbitrary score average out of 10. Those attributes will be weighted based on a low, medium, or high scale.
That's nice. So that makes it very personal to the company and the tenants that are walking through the space. Now, also, if you have 5 people from a company walking through space, they can all individually rate it, right?
That is correct, and that's a great function and feature of 10.8. Mm-hmm. Especially law firms or professional firms or any sort of firm, they usually have more than one decision maker. So you try to get everyone's opinion there, and you and I have been on enough tours when you go and you get back in the car and you say, hey, what do you guys think? Oh, well, I liked it, I didn't like it, but there's no basis point to talk from. With 10.8, it takes both of their scores and gives it an average score, what we call a group score. So when you get done rating a building, not only does the individual have their own score, but then it takes the average of those scores and gives them a group score. So it gives them something to talk about. And I can't tell you how many tours I've personally been on, and it's pretty cool to see. When you get done with the tour, you get back in the car, you walk to the next building, the very first thing they start asking each other is, well, what'd you get for the building? Oh, I got an 8.5. What'd you get? Oh, I got a 7.6. Well, why are we a point off? And then they actually start to talk about the building, so it's really cool to see because now they're going to start to remember the building. They're going to start to process it, and they have a basis point to do it from.
That's great, and it's real interactive. I mean, it gives the tenant something to actually do and record their feelings. Now, what can a broker do with that information after the tour?
Yeah, so the great thing about 10.8 is once you get done with the tour, you can go back to 10.8app.com and just click on the View Tour Report, and that's found within the tour itself. And when you do that, it produces a PDF that you then can send back to your clients. And that PDF is going to have all the building scores and rate them from highest to lowest. It's then going to graph it out for you so you can see it visually. But the really cool thing, it's going to break down each individual building, how each individual on the tour scored it, what the average score was for all the attributes. But the real cool thing is it's going to show all the notes that were taken. So see, 10.8 gives you the ability to take notes on the fly while you're actually in the building, and then anyone that took notes, those notes show up on the report.
That's nice. So it seems like a pretty valuable tool for tenants and for tenant reps, so it must be expensive for them, right?
You would think, but that's the best part. 10.8 is free for all brokers. We are brokers. We've been doing this for a long time. My partners and I in 10.8. have about 40 years of combined experience, and we felt it was important to give this tool for free for brokers. If you think about the way the current industry works, everyone gets charged, the brokers get charged for everything. And all the data that's being derived by these data companies comes from the brokers, but then they turn around and charge the brokers to get that data back. We wanted to create a company that creates great tools for brokers, but those tools are free. And so that's where we're going.
That's great. Well, talk to us about global scores. What are global scores? How does that work?
Yeah, so let's step back real quick and think about in your city how many tours actually go on in a given week. I mean, we can take, New York, for example, and you think of the Rockefeller Center. Well, how many tenants are actually touring through the Rockefeller Center in a given year? And think about the opportunity that we're missing to actually capture the end user feelings from those tours and create it into data. And so that's kind of where the idea of the global scores come from. We want to take those end user feelings and give it an average score. And so the global score is basically the average score of anyone that has rated the building before. Okay. And all brokers can see that.
Okay, great. And you can use this anywhere in the country?
You can use this anywhere in the country and Canada.
Well, Patrick, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate your time.
Michael, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
If you'd like more information about 10.8 or you want to download the app, visit commercialrealestateshow.com. There's a video there and a link. I'm Michael Bull. This is America's Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Commercial real estate videos are brought to you by Bull Realty. When your business requires proven performance, contact Bull Realty. And by Arnold Golden Gregory, France Media Inc., Resnick Group, and Andy's Army.